I have a question for men. I feel like a lot of men are no longer interested in dating. They give up on dating. They're not even trying. Why do you guys think that is the case?
If the man is handsome, educated, has money, but still single, then what could be the problem?
Yes, men are happy being single. They are. They're definitely enjoying it more than they used to before. And because I see it, you know, it's gotten harder to date, you know, lately. Men are very satisfied in their lives without women. They are. They're working a lot, either working a lot, or if they're not working, then, they'll hang out with their friends, with their family, with their kids. Well, with their kids, it's a given. But yeah, they're happy being, if they're not married, they're happy being, bachelors and having their own space and not having to commit to anyone. So yeah, this wasn't the case before, but this is what it is now.
It's funny watching the realization slowly set in. For years, the message was simple. Men needed to step up or risk being left behind. Now that so many men have chosen to step away from the dating game altogether, suddenly it's treated like a crisis. Notice how she downplays it by saying men are just working or hanging out with friends, as if they're merely passing the time. The reality is that many built peaceful, fulfilling lives after deciding that solitude was better than constantly being judged, taken for granted, or valued mainly for what they could provide financially.
This comment was just too good not to respond to. I honestly think it is true that men nowadays are uninterested in the dating game. And they're most likely the good ones, which then leaves us ladies having bad experiences, and then we, in hand, want to get off the dating scene. So then we're both left screwed because all the good ones are out of the dating scene and aren't interested. When is this going to change, though? Maybe we all need to come back together and make it work?
Maybe we all need to come back together and make it work. But there's a problem with that statement. There's no we here. Men didn't simply walk away from the table. They were pushed away by a culture that increasingly portrayed them as a problem just for being men. While that happened, many men built lives centered around peace, family, purpose, and independence. Now, suddenly, there's a call to come back together and pretend it was all just a misunderstanding. But many men aren't interested in going backward. They've experienced a piece of life without constant conflict, expectations, and pressure, and they are not eager to give that up.
Have the men given up? I'm serious. They just stopped. They don't want to have sex anymore. They don't want to go on dates with women. They just want to hang out with their boys. Look, I get it. Men want to hang out with men. They want to do their thing. They don't want to care about women drama anymore. I don't know. Maybe someone can explain to me what's going on, because as long as men are not approaching women, they are going to be single. And women are having a great time. From what I've seen, single women are having a great time. Yes, maybe they want boyfriends. They want to hook up. But single women are having a great time. The single men, I don't know. Not so much. What do you think?
She's wondering what's going on, as if men suddenly changed overnight and forgot everything they've been saying for years. Men have been vocal about being tired of feeling like ATM as scapegoats and emotional punching bags. The moment they finally took that advice, protected their peace, stopped chasing, and walked away from the drama, now she's confused. The irony is that she admits a drama pushed men away, yet somehow still expects them to willingly sign up for the same cycle.
It's Valentine's Day, and 70% of men are choosing to stay single. And I don't even blame them, and this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Dating in this generation is so impossible, and I can talk about it for literally days. It feels like every single woman in this generation is either a gold digger or a bop or both. And so yeah, a lot of men are saying, we choose to be single. We're not gonna deal with this anymore, and I get it. I wouldn't either. That sounds awful. I just saw someone say something today about how I would rather be single than settle. And yeah, me too. I get it. That's me too. But it's crazy because you'll see women come online and be like,
men are so sad and they're so single and they're so alone, but not me. I'm having a good time, just the men are having a bad time. And I was like, girl, be so serious for 2 minutes. Anyway.
Notice how she takes a legitimate point and then cleverly positions herself as a victim right alongside men. She acknowledges that the dating market is full of unrealistic expectations, gold digging, and unreliable behavior, but then tries to spin it into, I'm not settling either. That's not the same thing. Men are stepping away because they are exhausted by the behavior and dynamics they keep encountering, not because they are simply trying to match someone's high standards. It's a clever narrative shift that makes women's loneliness sound like the same conscious pursuit of peace that's driving many men to opt out.
Divorced men, 70 to 80% of the time, I would argue in relationships it's probably similar. Men aren't leaving, women are. So to a guy's point of view, he's going to commit to this girl, and what does he get? He doesn't get purity anymore. You know, these hoes. You know, he doesn't get youth anymore, so he doesn't get either of those things. A lot of times she already has a kid, so he's not fulfilling his mating strategy. On top of that, even if he does find a good woman that maybe has the qualities he's looking for, she was going to want him to marry her, right? And what does he get out of that? Oh, she can leave and take half and take my kids. And she's paid to take my kids away from me. She gets more money if she takes my children. Mm-hmm. And so from the men's point of view, they're just kind of like, F it, because like women aren't wives nowadays. And what do they get out of it? But like men are logical. They're logical people. And so they're thinking, does the benefit outweigh the cost? And like, I just think as women, we have to look at ourselves and say, the benefits we bring nowadays don't outweigh the cost for most men.
She's basically admitting that family courts can leave men feeling financially exposed and vulnerable when relationships fall apart. Yet society still expects men to blindly sign the contract just to prove they're good men. Men didn't suddenly become cold or irrational. Many simply started looking at the potential risks, the financial consequences, and the uncertainty around custody, then decided that protecting their peace and stability was more important than entering a system they don't trust. For them, walking away isn't bitterness. It's a calculated choice based on the risks they believe they are taking.
I can understand why men have given up dating, because can someone make it make sense for me how these women want men to text them back fast, but not too fast, that it's too creepy. They want men to make 6 figures while working 20 hours a week while they still have quality time with them. You know, if he has a good relationship with his mom, then that means he treats women well. But if he doesn't have a relationship with his mom, then that means he's automatically abusive. But then she doesn't want to ever talk about her daddy issues. If he's too nice and too kind, then that means that he wants something from you, or, you know, there's an assumption that he's just buying you gifts and whining and dining you because he wants sex. But if he doesn't wine and dine you, then he's lazy, he doesn't care, and he's not putting in enough effort. You want men to lead, but you don't want to listen. You want men to show their masculinity and take charge and plan dates, but not too much masculinity that he comes off as aggressive, mean, rude, or condescending. You want men to be in tune with your emotions, but if he's too emotional, then he's weak and you don't trust him to make decisions and lead. He has to be attractive, but not too attractive that he looks like a fuckboy or somebody that gets around, because if he's too attractive, then he has too many options. But if he's not attractive enough, then you're not even looking in his direction. If he has a child and a baby mom, then you automatically assume that, you know, what baby mom would want to be single, and that makes him toxic. But if he's never been married or in a committed relationship, then that also makes him toxic, and that's a red flag because he's never been in a relationship before. You want men to initiate the dating stages of a relationship. You want men to initiate sex, but then when he stops initiating sex, then you assume that he's cheating on you. You want men to be honest and open and upfront, but your idea of honest and open and upfront is basically him telling you only the truth that validate your feelings and your experiences, because the moment that he invalidates how you feel, now he's narcissistic, he's abusive, and he's mentally and emotionally using you and abusing you.
You want a man to lead, but the moment he does, you refuse to listen. You want him to wine and dine you, but if he makes the effort, suddenly he must have some hidden agenda. At that point, this stops looking like dating and starts looking like a never-ending compliance test where the rules keep changing and accountability is nowhere to be found. Many men are walking away because they've realized that no amount of money, looks, or effort can satisfy expectations that constantly shift. Instead of endlessly chasing approval, they are choosing peace, protecting their energy, and stepping away from a game they no longer believe is worth playing.
So I saw this interview of a guy asking a girl what she brings to the table, and her response is exactly why men are tired of dating. She basically said she doesn't have to bring anything to the table and got offended that he even asked her that question. This entitled mindset is why men are walking away from dating. Here's what I realized. Men have been taught since birth how to treat women, but we as women are taught our entire lives how to be treated by a man, not how to treat a man. Like, think about it. From the time we're little girls, we're told what we deserve, what we should expect, what standards we should have, but nobody teaches us what we should give, how we should support, or what we should contribute. Men from a very early age learn about respect, providing, protecting, leading, and making a woman feel valued. But what are women learning? How to receive, demand, expect, and be catered to? We're taught that we're queens who deserve to be worshipped, but nobody teaches us how to be the type of woman worth worshiping. And the dating advice women get from other women is so toxic. We have this mentality, if he won't, then someone else will. So if he won't pay for your dates or buy you expensive gifts or treat you like a queen, then guess what? Someone else will. Like, that's basically the dating advice for women, and it's so messed up. Like, imagine if the roles were reversed and men were like, if she can't cook or won't clean or support or respect me, then someone else will. Women would lose their freaking minds. And then y'all would start calling that toxic masculinity. We've literally created a generation of women who think they deserve everything while bringing absolutely nothing to the table. And then we wonder why men are walking away from dating altogether. Men are expected to have money, a career, a car, a house, emotional intelligence, leadership skills, the ability to provide and protect. But when they ask what women bring, suddenly that's offensive. Meanwhile, men are working on themselves, building their careers, focusing on their fitness and finances, learning how to be a better partner. And what are women doing? Complaining that there are no good men while refusing to become good women.
Let's keep it 100 on that final point about women complaining while refusing to look inward. For years, a man asking, "What do you do?" has been treated as completely normal. But when a man asks, "What do you bring to the table?" suddenly he's a villain. You can't demand a traditional provider while offering modern expectations and little cooperation in return. A lot of men didn't stop dating because it became too difficult. They stepped back because they realized that being single, peaceful, and financially independent can feel far better than constantly trying to earn approval in a game where the rules keep changing. And when you look at the bigger picture, it's easy to see why frustration has grown. Men are being told to provide, protect, lead, improve themselves, and absorb the pressure, while many feel their own expectations and concerns are dismissed. Eventually, some men simply decided to redirect their energy into their careers, finances, fitness, friendships, and personal peace. Men didn't necessarily give up. Many just decided that building a fulfilling life on their own terms was more valuable than chasing a relationship they believed came with more risk than reward. Though that's a real shift we're watching. The old expectations aren't working the way they used to, and men are responding by making different choices. If you're tired of the talking points and want the unfiltered discussion, make sure to like and subscribe.